The Human Rights Watch has called the RSF men with no mercy, but given their history, this is somewhat an understatement, and now they have set their eyes on ruling Sudan. But how did a bunch of armed nomads turn into the most feared militias in Sudan for the past 20 years? Let's explore their rise to power that has trapped Sudan in a deadly struggle for control. It all started in 2003 in the deserts of Darfur, when peasant workers rebelled against the government's unfair treatment. Omar Al Bashir, the then president, unleashed the Janjaweed to suppress the uprising. Janjaweed stands for evil horsemen, and the title befits them. These armed Arab nomads crushed the rebellion without mercy. They mutilated and murdered men, raped women and kidnapped children, turning them into child soldiers. Fields and houses were destroyed, wells poisoned, and valuable goods seized, hence the term men with no mercy. Sudan also had a national army, so why use the militia? Omar wanted to keep the army's power in check. In 2013, he gave the Janjaweed an official title, the Rapid Support Forces, the RSF, led by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, known as Hemedti, whom Omar relied on for his protection, a decision he would soon regret. We'll get to that in a bit. Meanwhile, the RSF was also granted autonomous status and some gold mines to secure Hamedti's loyalty. And gold was key. Bashir gave Hemedti free rein to sell Sudan's most valuable natural resource, with an unfettered power to crush the rebellions against Omar's rule and revenue from gold mines at his hands. Hemedti bought weapons, recruited soldiers, and grew his influence. He procured weapons with the aid of Russia, Israel, and the UAE. Soon, the RSF was seen roaming the streets of Sudan, with rocket-propelled grenades and machine guns mounted on jeeps. But Hamedti was eyeing more power, and Omar kept providing him with opportunities. The RSF's influence peaked when Sudan joined the Saudi UAE-led military intervention in Yemen's war in 2015. Members of the RSF were deployed in Yemen and received support from Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, including money and weapons. Flush with wealth and support from foreign patrons, the RSF quickly became a formidable rival to the military, setting the scene for the conflict today. By 2019, it had been 30 years under Omar's rule, and the people of Sudan grew frustrated. When mass protests broke out against Bashir's rule, Hamedti and Commander-in-Chief of the Sudanese army, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, ousted Omar Al Bashir. After international pressure, Hemedti and Burhan signed a power-sharing agreement that would lead to elections and form a democratic government. Part of the agreement was to merge the RSF with the army to run the country smoothly without a power imbalance. And that is where things fell apart. The RSF does not want to lose its power, and neither does Sudan's army. Both remain at odds over two issues. First, how long will it take for the RSF to integrate into the military? Second, who would be the commander-in-chief of the military during the integration period? The RSF wants a 10-year time to integrate them into the army, and a civilian commander-in-chief, a setup that lets Hamedti retain power for a decade, while the army wants RSF's integration within 2 years, and a military commander-in-chief. Given Sudan's history of military coups, this will deprive Sudan of any chance of a free democratic government. Both Hemedti and Burhan fear losing power to the other. For now, Sudan's army and the RSF remain locked in a deadly power struggle since April 2023. There is mounting evidence that the Sudanese army and the RSF are both corrupt and involved in genocide and human rights abuses. They care little for civilians who just act as collateral in their struggle for power. Over 150,000 people have been killed, and more than 11 million have been displaced in the past 2 years. Sudan is caught in a deadlock where both men vying for power are corrupt and willing to delay civilian rule by all means, or will only install weak leadership that can be controlled by them and overthrown if needed. For the people of Sudan, speaking up is akin to facing death. Thank you for watching. To learn more, read the sources in the description and like and subscribe for more videos about the conflicts of the world.